was.
You know, almost as good as the Bears.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the Oak Lawn Board of Trustees regular meeting. It's September 24th, 2019. It is 7:30 on the dot. This is meeting number 2019-17. Jane, please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Olenichek will not be here tonight. Trustee Desmond?
Here.
Trustee Phelan?
Here.
Trustee Vorder?
Here.
And Trustee Mallow.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thanks. Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'm very excited to have Donna Miller, our Cook County Commissioner, here for public comments. Donna, would you care to come to the podium? Donna, you took office when? In December. So if you haven't met her, she's wonderful, very responsive. So,
Thank
Donna,
you.
can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll just turf over to your Invest in Cook program.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Oak Lawn resident. I'm Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller of the 6th District. And Oak Lawn, part of Oak Lawn, is actually in the 6th District. So I actually represent 36 different municipalities that are in the 6th District, all South Suburban. So my focus and conversation and everything that I talk about on the county board is focused on the development of the Southland. So I'd like to thank the president, President Burry, and the Board of Trustees, as well as the residents of Oak Lawn for having me here tonight. And so, as I mentioned, one of my top priorities as your commissioner is to advocate for the support and economic development of our region. So Cook County has access to resources, and those resources can help spur growth in the 6th District and beyond, so throughout all of Cook County. So I'm here to talk about one of those resources that the Village of Oak Lawn successfully secured funding from to support a very important initiative. So through the county's Invest in Cook program, that's a countywide initiative, Oak Lawn secured a $123,000 award to begin feasibility and planning process focused on improving the intersection, pedestrian access, and adding bike lanes along Southwest Highway and Ridgeland Avenue up to 93rd Street. So these improvements will also help support PACE's 95th Street Pulse Route that is currently in the planning phase. So there's a lot of projects that were this funding was open for, and we're just happy that Oak Lawn was able to secure some of that funding. And I can just also attest to the fact that one of the main priorities for Cook County as a whole is focus on the Southland. So I've brought copies of the South Suburban Economic Growth Initiative that I can share with the president, and important dates that we can talk about. Also, the importance of the 2020 census, which is coming up next year. Cook County has also leaned into a 2020 census complete count census effort, and an undercount in the census could result in a loss of representation and major loss to access of federal funds. So my office will be hosting town halls throughout the Southland to help educate everyone on how extremely important it is that everyone is counted, and that means everyone. And we need your help and your trusted voices to ensure that we have a complete census count. We have materials on that. So I'm just happy to be partnering with you and appreciate your support. And my district office is actually located in in Oak Forest.
Oops.
In Oak Forest. So the district is pretty big, so that's why we have to be centrally located. But we also have our county office in the downtown, and I always invite everyone to come to speak about issues at the county level and come visit us in our office. So we have some of these materials in the back, and happy to give you other copies, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Donna.
All right.
Really appreciate you coming out to Oak Lawn, and we really appreciate the grant. I know Trustee Mallow, it's going to add a shot of energy to Southwest Highway, and we really, really, really are excited about it. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. And feel free to stay if you want, but we understand if you don't want. That's okay. We don't hold it against you. Okay, we have a second public commenter, Mr. Mike Conway, Sr. Mike?
Thank you very much for letting me speak. I just want to say thank you, Barry, for fixing up Raymond Avenue. It looks beautiful. And repairing the paver bricks. Thank you. It's much appreciated. And to Trustee Mallow, Paul Mallow, I want to thank him for fixing up my problem in my backyard. Also, Gary Guglielmo, I know I pronounced that wrong, sorry. Bob Mallow, and Eric Mallow. It was deeply appreciated, very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Conway. Very nice to always see you, and thanks for the thank yous. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we're going to move on. I have a proclamation for Fire Prevention Week, October 6th through the 12th, 2019. Whereas the Village of Oak Lawn, Illinois is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting in Oak Lawn, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. Whereas home fires killed 2,600 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to an astonishing 357,000 home fires. And whereas the majority of U.S. fire deaths, 4 out of 5 in fact, occur at home each year, and the fire death rate per 1,000 home fires reported to the U.S. Fire Department was 4% higher in 2017 than in 1980. And whereas when the smoke alarm sounds, Oak Lawn residents may have less than 2 minutes to escape safely, and whereas Oak Lawn's residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire, and whereas Oak Lawn residents should make a home escape plan drawing a map of each level of the home showing all doors and windows, whereas Oak Lawn residents should practice the home fire escape plan with everyone in the household. This includes visitors, and whereas Oak Lawn residents should practice the home fire escape drill at least twice during the year, both daytime and nighttime, practice different ways in and out, and teach children especially to escape on their own in case adults can't help them. And whereas Oak Lawn residents should make sure everyone in the home knows how to make a 911 call or the local emergency number from a cell phone or a neighbor's phone. And whereas Oak Lawn residents in a real emergency should get low and go under the smoke to get out quickly. Whereas Oak Lawn residents should get out and stay out and never go back inside for people, pets, or things. And whereas Oak Lawn residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take action to increase safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, "Not Every Hero Wears a Cape, Plan and Practice Your Escape," effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Sandra Berry, Mayor of the Village of Oak Lawn, hereby proclaim October 6th through 12th, 2019 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this village. And I urge all residents and the people of Oak Lawn to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Oak Lawn EMS Fire and Rescue Services during the Fire Prevention Week 2019. Signing this day, very good. Anyone from our fire department want to weigh in? Deputy Chief? Or very good. Now, one thing not on there, please be sure to change the batteries in your smoke detectors twice a year, and we're getting close to the time to do it. Time zone, when we change times, is that the best time to do it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mayor, Village Board, Clerk Quinlan, Manager Deachin, and ladies and gentlemen, just want to reiterate the proclamation as we rapidly approach Fire Prevention Week here. Practicing home safety is one of the utmost important concerns we have. In the back there, I have provided you with some information how to practice that escape, how to prepare and draw an escape from those homes that you do live in. We ask that you find 2 ways out of every room. At least twice a year, practice getting out of the home. Just not too long ago, we can show proof that not all heroes wear capes. We just had a fire in an 18-unit condo building where a 5-year-old kindergartner told Mom, "I smell and see smoke." And in fact, he did smell and see smoke. His neighbor's unit was on fire, and his rapid informing of his mother, Mom called 911. The fire department arrived. We extinguished the fire. No injuries and minor loss to the resident in the home there.
Wow, not all heroes wear capes.
Very true.
I think it's important to say Vinny Ramirez's name.
Vinny Ramirez, yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
we will be going to his school here not too far off and representing him to his class in front of his peers and his principal and teachers and all that stuff, and congratulating him on his
Nice
effort.
to give him a ride to school too, and
We could definitely, I know some people that we can get that taken care of.
you know some people? That's great. That's great. Thank you. And if residents aren't sure like how to make a plan, is the fire department available for that kind of help?
We definitely are available.
So how should they contact the fire department?
You can feel free to contact my office. My direct number is area code 708-499-7825. Our general email box into the Fire Prevention Community Risk Reduction Bureau is oaklawn, F as in Frank, P as in Paul, at oaklawn-il.gov.
Thank you
We'll
very
get
much.
that, and we'll get them answered and help them through whatever they might need to do.
And once again, smoke detectors don't work unless the batteries work. Is
Have
that
to change the batteries and test them on a frequent basis, at least once a month. I like to test mine when I burn the pizza at home, but it happens.
Oh, pizza should always be burnt. That's the way it's best. So don't forget also to check the smoke detectors in like furnace rooms and the lower level or the attic if you have smoke detectors in those places too. A lot of people have them and just totally forget and do the main living areas, but many times they're throughout the house. So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, item 6 is a request to approve the 5th annual St. Gerald Giant Pumpkin 5K Run Walk to be held on Saturday, October 26th, 2019. May I have a motion on 6, please?
Motion to approve.
Okay, that was trustee Desmond, seconded by, I think, trustee Warder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. 7 is a request for a special event permit for Oktoberfest at the Barrel Club, located at 4910 West 111th Street, to be held on Friday, October 11th, and Saturday, October 12th, 2019. May I have a motion on 7, please?
Motion to
Thank
approve.
you. Thank you. We have trustee Stalker made that motion, seconded by
Second.
trustee Mallow. Thank you. Any discussion? And is anyone from either St. Gerald's or Barrel Club here to talk about it? Okay, very good. Let's call that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Item 8 is the EPA Green Partner Community Award presentation. Hi, how are you? Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Barry. I'm Arnie Schrammel with Progressive Energy Group. This is Ann DiPartoli from MC Squared Energy. She's got a plaque, and she's also has some of these. I'm going to give her a couple of minutes to present the plaque to the mayor and
Oh, thank you.
explain a little bit about the results of the first year's program.
Trustee Vorder, are you our public safety? No, trustee Phelan? I don't know. Who's the, no, trustee Stalker.
No, Oldenechek. Trustee Oldenechek.
No, I think we have a utility liaison.
Mallow.
No, it's trustee Stalker, no.
We changed it.
Anyway,
I'll go up, is that all
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Cover it.
Desmond,
I'll get my sheets.
we've said everybody.
Ex officio. Ex officio, whatever.
Thank you for having me here.
would you
The
like,
one day open.
Yeah, I just have just
more
a few.
people watch on TV at home
Oh,
and the
okay.
internet?
Yeah, well, thank you for having us here. Just wanted to say that for most municipalities, electric usage is the single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions. And Oak Lawn has demonstrated their civic leadership by becoming an EPA green power community to reduce green gas emission and other pollutants and improve the community environment. So we're pleased to provide the village with the certificate of partnership with the EPA.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. And We have some cards that we put here on the thing here, and also in the back. And these cards here give you an indication of some of the benefits of the green program, and shows two areas on the card on the back that depict the reduction of carbon dioxide equivalents from the retirement of approximately 84 million renewable energy certificates that came from wind farms in Illinois and Iowa.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just got a little bit about the renewal. Yeah, Mayor, I just want to talk a little bit about the renewal of the program. The Village of Oak Lawn, one of the first 10 communities in Illinois to participate in this type of green program and get this EPA Green Partnership Program. Your current program expires in January this year, so we want to talk a little bit about some options going forward. Last year when we were here, MC Squared was the only company really offering this type of program. There's now a second company, Elogo Energy, who's also got a similar type program. They actually don't have any villagers or communities doing this yet. But there is competition now for this space, which I think is good, because one of the things we always were wondering, like for the civic contribution, is MC Squared competitive with the market? And this year when we got bids back, they are very competitive with the market. So we're proposing that the Village of Oak Lawn renew the program for 2 more years, very similar to what it is today. You'd continue, your residents could continue be in this program. They could leave the program at any time if they wanted without a cancellation fee, or they could join the program. But essentially what this does is keep the Village of Oak Lawn as a EPA green community for 2 more years. The civic contribution does drop from $150,000 a year down to $100,000 a year. And the primary cause for that is there's less residents participating in the program. There's a lot more residents that have actually chosen to get their supply from somebody other than the Oak Lawn Aggregation Program or ComEd. Now, why has that been? Our theory is there's 2 things that happen. One is, and it's not just Oak Lawn, we work with a lot of communities. There was a lot of marketing activity when there first was the aggregation program, and a lot of those tended to be loss leaders where the price actually was lower for a few months, but then it kicks up higher. But 2 most importantly, the Attorney General's office in Illinois this spring proposed legislation, and the original legislation for all effects would have pretty much banned residential choice programs for electricity in the state, because there's a lot of bad marketers and a lot of customers are getting into programs that are paying more than ComEd or the aggregation. Now, that legislation got watered down a little bit, but there's a lot more protections for the residential customers program. But in effect, what happened in the early part of this year is a lot of what we call retail electric suppliers spent a lot of their marketing money trying to get customers before all these new marketing restrictions went in. But overall, that legislation, I believe, has been going to be very good for the residents of Illinois, because there was, unfortunately, and most of them are out-of-state electric suppliers marketing to customers with these loss leader type programs, promising savings, but after 3 or 4 months, if they didn't opt out, they're paying more money. But essentially, that's why the civic contribution has dropped from 150 to 100,000. Is just actually less residents participating in the program. But with that, I was going to open it up to any questions from the trustees, if they had any questions for MC Squared or us.
I just wanted to add one thing to Progressive Energy, Ernie's firm, and Ian DiBertolo, and Herb, the owner of MC Squared, Chuck Sutton, have been great partners to the village. They donated $10,000 to the Fall in the Green Fest, and civic contribution that Ernie just mentioned was something that I came to the village manager and to Trustee Olenichik with. And during the summer, Ann held, I think, 3 different, we had 2 town hall meetings. They came to a couple farmers markets.
just to make sure that the residents understand how this electric aggregation program works and make sure that there's not any fraud, I think is one of the biggest concerns you have with those programs. So I think it's been a really, really good partnership.
Trustee
Yeah,
Warden.
and I think it's important to mention that if a customer opts for this program, he pays no more than Commonwealth Edison. And if Commonwealth Edison lowers their price, you match that price.
Yes, that price is matched every month.
So it's a plus to go with this rather than ComEd.
Yeah, and you get all the green recs that you necessarily don't get with ComEd.
And
Great.
support of the community functions too.
Very good. Any other discussion? And there's no action on tonight's agenda, is that correct, council? We're just having a discussion of green energy aggregation.
If I could, Mayor, we're vetting the contract, and it'll be on your next agenda for your
Okay.
authorization.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks for coming out and giving us an opportunity to ask questions, and thank you very much. We'll display that certificate proudly. Okay, this brings us to item 10, approval of the meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2019-16 dated September 10th, 2019. May I have a motion on 10, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you, Trustee Vorder, who made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Please call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Abstain.
Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Motion passes 401.
New business by village trustees. Let's start District 1, Trustee Desmond.
No new business.
District 3.
I just have one item, Mayor. I know everybody's waiting in anticipation of the beer sale number from last month. I was able to share that with our Arts and Events Committee, and we did break the 2017 record that we were at 105. We made it to 106,894 as far as beer sales went. So I know
Wow.
we've been waiting in anticipation.
How was Saturday? Was Saturday the record or not quite?
It was just a aggregate total.
Okay,
So that's
well, that's astonishing.
it was an amazing weekend, and
Good job.
I had a lot to do with it. So
And the staff and volunteers and all the,
fabulous, fabulous.
yeah, all the supporters. Thank you so much. That it?
That's it.
Okay, District 4,
I have no new business.
District 5,
No new business, thank you.
District 6.
Yeah, I'd just like to compliment Trustee Mello and Trustee Desmond for the seamless handoff of the Fall in the Green and the special events and arts liaison duties. It's always a challenge to pull that event off. Lindsay and Steve Barrett do a heck of a lot of work, and I know that Paul and Tim are working hard to recruit more people to do more of the work so it doesn't fall on just a few of the employees and volunteers. So, but a great event. The numbers speak for themselves, and, as Paul said, I think everybody had a great time.
Truly, I hear almost every day someone who says that. So, okay, that's it? Okay. On to village manager's report, item 12.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. I only have one item of information for the board. I had a bullet item in your Friday's trustee information letter regarding a company that we will be proposing for the board's consideration at your next meeting to register foreclosures, and wanted to bring to the attention and compliment this board. Probably one of the biggest issues that the administration faces daily is property maintenance and the lack thereof of individuals who are absentee landlords who own property contiguous to hardworking homeowners in Oak Lawn who maintain their properties meticulously only to come home and see their neighbor's property neglected. And with the economic downturn, we had a period of time where foreclosures were at exceedingly high level. Pleased to report, I put in your till data that would show that's dropped tremendously, but we don't know what the future is ahead. And this company, which now represents over 100 municipalities across the nation, has a data mining system that makes contact with mainly out-of-state banks. What happens when a home goes through foreclosure, often properties are bundled in a portfolio, sold to a out-of-state bank. and then that out-of-state bank sells to another bank and another bank, and municipalities, quite frankly, aren't that capable and staffed to keep up with the moving game that occurs. This company is national. They have the ability to do that. We would register properties. Those properties that do not register in a timely fashion will be fined, and the proceeds are shared between our private sector partner and the village. And it is an item that I believe, if the board approves it, can be up and running conservatively in 60 days, and you can track it when you have your budget workshop for a new revenue source for next year, which will be a challenging budget year, given the continued growth in unfunded pension liability. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Larry. Item 13 is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. So 13A is ordinance 191768, an ordinance approving certain traffic regulations. This is recommending flashing pedestrian crosswalk signs at the intersection of 96th Street and 52nd Avenue, item TC 1268-SS. And B is Resolution 191762, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Beds Plus pertaining to the use of certain community development block grant funds. C is Resolution 191763, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Plows pertaining to the use of certain community development block grant funds. D is Resolution 191764, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Cook County, or County of Cook, excuse me. E is Resolution 191765, a resolution awarding one lake improvement project contract to Earthworks Land Improvement and Development Corporation. F is Resolution 191766, a resolution awarding and authorizing an emergency contract with Reliable Construction and Equipment Company. G, like George, is Resolution 191767, resolution approving a change order with Greeley and Hansen LLC for the professional engineering services related to the final design of transmission main bid package 7, B like boy, Orland Park Spur 2 Main. We have a motion on 13, please.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Phelan made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond is our second. Any discussion here, gentlemen?
I'd like to remove E.
Remove E. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Excuse me. Okay. We're voting on everything in 13 except E like Edward. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Phelan.
Yes.
Trustee Border.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. 13E is Resolution 191765, a resolution awarding Oak Lawn Lake Improvement Project contract to Earthworks Land Improvement and Development Corporation. May I have a motion on 13E?
I'd like to, a motion to table this.
Okay, we have a motion to table
I'll
or
second.
postpone.
Just motion to table.
Okay, motion to table by Trustee Mallow, seconded by Trustee Phelan. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes, Trustee Desmond.
I'm just wondering why are we tabling on?
Well, I think it was, in regards to just the timing of it and the whole key construction bailout, I think we needed a little more time. After talking with Larry, I think he has that time to give us to look it over again, just to see where we're at and what those things mean as far as the Oak Lawn Lake's concerned.
If I could, Mayor.
Certainly.
Normal procedure when you go out to bid is you have a requirement that the apparent lowest responsible bidder, which in this case is Earthworks, will allow the municipality to continue its due diligence and not take action until, in this case, 45 days, or allow the board to put it on the agenda, their second meeting in October, if you feel that all questions that may exist have been answered. So I suggested to Trustee Mallow that it was entirely appropriate if a Public Works Committee meeting could be scheduled, hopefully one that would be convenient for all board members. As you all know, many of the Public Works and Finance Committee meetings are attended by all members of the board because of the importance. This is a large capital project in excess of $2 million. It is a storm detention infrastructure project. Oak Lawn Lake feeds into a lot of other structures that address stormwater and flooding conditions in Oak Lawn, which is a big issue in our community, and one which this board has responsibly been addressing for over 10 years. Unfortunately, not always successful in getting other governmental partners to step up to the plate with the village. So I think it's a good idea. I've just asked the board to set up a Public Works Committee meeting at your earliest convenience that works for board members, and staff will be there, and our consulting engineer, Burke, will also attend. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
Trustee
you.
Hall.
Any other discussion, trustees?
I have a question.
Yes.
Just curious, Larry, if this gentleman from the Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa Fair Contracting Organization did not reach out to us, would this Key Construction have received the
Yeah,
bid?
what was transpiring, independent of the communication that was unsolicited and received, the bid package has to be reviewed. That's part of the agreement we have with Burke Engineering. They were already talking to Key Construction and observed two striking mathematical errors in their numbers. And they had also put in a significantly lower than what any unit price would be in the market for some of the line items. So we brought that to their attention. That gives them an opportunity to correct their errors and continue on in due diligence negotiations. They declined to do that. We did not ask them to pull out. In consultation with our attorney, I asked whether or not we could hold their bond, and at the advice of counsel, we decided that it was better to release them, given what other information we were receiving about their performance. What I liked about Earthworks is, in my email to you, I noticed the misspelling, but they are not a nickel and dime firm. If you're gonna get a contractor to do this type of work, you're dealing with failing rebars that hold retaining walls on a body of water. You want a firm that's not going to be looking for change orders. And historically, this is a firm that doesn't do that. So their bid is a solid bid. We feel good. It's close to the engineer's estimate. It is higher than the engineer's estimate, but we have approved in the past street projects of this magnitude that are slightly higher than what the engineer's estimate is. And I would only say to you, Trustee Phelan, my concern is today they announced that this is the lowest unemployment rate in the state of Illinois. Let me repeat, lowest unemployment rate, 3.7%. A little bit higher in Oak Lawn. All indications are, with some other activity of labor, that we're going to see unit prices for labor and materials start rising for the 2020 construction season. So I just point that out to you. I think we should have our engineer there. That's what we pay him for, to ask all the questions that we have and do our review and determine whether or not this is a project that you want to award the bid, or perhaps take some line items and reduce those to reduce the magnitude of the project. That's always a possibility, and they may agree. Sometimes when you remove a line item in a bid, they may charge a higher value for the removal of an item. I don't think that's this type of firm. I think this is what they specialize in, but we'll see.
So one of the concerns I have is we're left with just one bid. So, you know, to say that it matches the engineering estimate, it's nice to see 2 or 3 bids and then validates whether because we've seen engineering estimates that are significantly off, where the actual bid comes in under. So in this case, you know, is it unusual? I mean, Jack's not here, that we didn't receive that many proposals for this?
No, again, that could be reflective of 2 things. It's pretty big project. You need a firm that does this type of work. And it's the end of the year, so some firms have committed, and they're getting geared up for next year. And we have seen, again, a competitive market, so some firms just may say, you know, we've got our plate full. There's a lot of construction out there, which is a good thing.
And this was the best time allegedly to do this because of the project, to get it started in the fall. No, it doesn't mean they have to.
I would say, trustee, the tabling of this and further discussion is properly placed. Let's do it. Ask all the questions. All I would ask is that we make it at a time that is convenient so that as many trustees and the mayor can attend. It's an important project. It has been deferred. It's what I would call deferred maintenance for many, many years for all the right reasons. We've been trying to fund pensions and catch that and sell assets of the village, and you see what that happens, goes down a black hole. So this is a difficult issue, and if I may, trustee, because I'm not too happy to read this today. So on the same day we had the lowest unemployment, Moody's announced that the state of Illinois now has the distinct honor of having the highest pension debt of all 50 states. Let me repeat, the highest pension debt. There is only one alternative, that's called pension reform, and let the voters of this good state make a decision on a constitutional amendment. I don't understand why elected officials across this state do not put before the voters who elected them to office and give them the opportunity to address it. This reform is being done in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, South Dakota. I can go across the country where state officials have entered into reform. Michigan, Wisconsin. Where is Illinois? Period. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to bring us back here, we are voting on a motion to table item 13E. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Phelan.
Yes.
Trustee Borders. Mallow.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0 to table.
Thank you. 14 is a request to change the time of the second Tuesday Village Board meeting. This is the Board of Trustees meeting from 7:30 PM to 9 AM. May I have a motion on 14, please?
Motion to approve.
I'm going to give that to Trustee Warder, seconded by Trustee Phelan. Any discussion here?
Yes, Mayor,
Trustee Phelan.
for the benefit of the audience, the people watching at home, the idea about changing the time of the second meeting was born out of an exchange I had with a gentleman who used to come to board meetings. I ran into him a couple of weeks ago. He's an older gentleman, and I asked, where have you been? And he said, oh, it's past my bedtime. I can't go to these meetings anymore. He was still of the impression that these were 3-hour barn burners where everybody's arguing, and, thankfully that's not happening anymore. But it did bring up this issue of, if all of the students got up and left right now, we would have 7, 8 people here. And not that they're not great people and they attend all the time, but the idea, if we were to change one of the meetings to a morning meeting, we'd give an opportunity for other people who can't make an evening meeting or it's inconvenient. And then in discussing with Alex and with the mayor and others, it also gave rise to the thought of business owners and business people who have to come before us for variance requests instead of waiting around. And many times they don't live in Oak Lawn. They don't have to wait around 2 hours, come to a meeting. They can do it during the workday. And then the final benefit was, several years ago, we used to have students come through the village for tours of the 911 center and the mayor's office. And the idea being that instead of the students here having to come at night and sit through these meetings, perhaps their teachers can bring them on field trips, not just high school students, but also grammar school students, and get a more of an exposure to our government than just sitting in a meeting listening to us talk, getting a tour of 911, the fire department. So that was the idea behind this. Myself and others, we check with the board members. It seems agreeable. It's something that if you look at the schedule, it starts October 22nd, and then it'll be every other meeting. So we'll go from a night meeting to a 9 o'clock in the morning meeting, and give a lot more people, hopefully, the ability to attend a meeting if they want to.
I thought you said 2020. Okay. There was discussion this would start next year. That's not the case. Council,
So we can't vote on it. We
okay.
have to give 10 days notice of when we're gonna vote on it, so we'd put it on voting for the next.
Okay, so this is just discussion, not action.
No, it's action.
Council says we need, council, can you,
For action, we have to give 10 days notice, publication, before we can vote on
But
it.
it's not till October 22nd.
Right, that meeting
Still
is
have
not
time.
till the 22nd of October.
That's what he told me, to post that tomorrow, that with the change of the meeting.
so by posting it today,
As long as it's going to get posted.
It's gonna get posted. I have it
Okay.
on my desk.
okay,
And there's only 2 more meetings after that through.
Okay.
So effectively, it is beginning next year.
well,
One change.
that's fine. Okay, so we're voting on item 14. Any other discussion? Call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. 15 is Resolution 191768, a resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements and authorizing the purchase of one 2019 sweeping machine. May I have a motion on 15, please?
Make the motion to approve.
Trustee Desmond made that motion, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Yeah, I do have a question. Probably our village manager might, remember when we approved that contract for garbage pickup at the last time? The company, they were, to sweeten the deal, they were
Yeah.
willing to sweep the streets.
Right. So if Republic is sweeping our streets quarterly or twice a year, why are we buying a sweeper?
Well, we use a sweeper, and it is complemented by the contract with the private sector that we negotiated with Republic Services. But we still engage in doing the sweeping, and.
We're replacing one.
We used to have 2 units.
Right.
We're able to salvage parts on the older unit, keep the current one running. This replaces one. So we're no longer gonna have a fleet of 2 sweepers by privatizing a portion of the service, and then we'll be able to replace this one that we've been,
Yeah, so we're not buying, we're not adding a third one, we're just replacing.
we're downsizing the fleet.
Yeah.
Right, so the sweepers, you see them after 4th of July parade, or if there's a bad storm coming through with debris, you know, the village, it's nice to have that capability for residents. Okay, let's call the vote, please. This is item 15.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
16 is Resolution 191769, a resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirement and authorizing the purchase of one Bobcat T450 compact track loader. May I have a motion? This is on item 16.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. That was Trustee Stalker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Mallows, our second. Any discussion here?
I guess the same question applies. Yeah, but I mean, are we adding a Bobcat?
The second Bobcat, we get certain equipment up into the parking towers, so this is to allow us to clean the parking.
Okay.
And can we add that wording? We always go through this. Purchase and lease when we do lease it.
Every single time it
I
comes up.
know.
I was downtown, I didn't see that. We didn't do that, so subject to that.
Okay, let's call the vote, please, on 16.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
17, Village Clerk's Report. Jane.
Thank you. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2019-18B, dated September 24th, 2019, in the amount of $1,890,560.58.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please, on number 17A?
Motion to pay the bills, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes. That's it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 18, Village President's Report. I just want to invite residents to come out on October 11th to the Oak Lawn Library at 6:30 p.m. I'll be participating in a book discussion on dope sick. This is a discussion about the opioid crisis, and I want to share with residents, how it impacts Oak Lawn and, what we can do about it. And I think it'll be really interesting. I hope everyone comes out and participates in that. The library has several different events of this nature leading up to this discussion on Friday, October 11th, so I hope to see everyone there. And with that, I'd like a motion to adjourn, please. Item, let's see, what is that, 19?
Motion to adjourn.
I'm going to give it to Trustee Mallow, seconded by Trustee Warder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks. We're adjourned at 8:15 PM. Thanks for coming. What schools are here tonight? Brevis, very good.